So, dear friends, welcome back to our continued study of Vishnu Sahastranam, verse number 88. And these words says, Sulabha, Sulabha, Suvrata Siddha, Sulabha, Suvrata Siddha, Satrujit, Satrutapana, Satrujit, Satrutapana, Nyagrodho, Udambara, Nyagrodho, Udambara, Aswatha, Chanur, Aswatha, Chanur, Andhra, Nisudana. If you read it first time, it looks so very difficult to even make sense of it. But with some effort, in 10 minutes, it becomes very clear, and you will see that. So the first name is Sulabha. Sulabha, we all know. Sulabha means something which can be easily attained, easy to attain, is called Sulabha. Sukhena labhyate iti sulabha. Sukhena means easily. Sukhena labhyate iti sulabha. So how come God's name is Sulabha? Because that's what he says, that I'm very easy to get. Everywhere in the scripture it says it is very difficult to get, but God says, no, I'm very easy to get. And he will show how come. And this has been recorded, written from ages. And one of the very ancient Garud Purana, where this sloka appears, and that is from Mahabharata. This is a rare sloka, but it is very interesting. I didn't know, but I came across thanks to Shankaracharya ji, who gives a cross references. That how come Sulabh name? So he said, okay, go and read this. So there it says, Patresu Puspesu Phalesu Toyas. Fourth thing. Patresu Puspesu Phalesu Toyas. Akrida. Akrida Sulabha. Akrida Sulabha. Jadere Patresu Puspesu Phalesu Toyam. Akrita Labhes. Akrita Labhes Sadeva Satsu. Word by word. God says, if my devotee brings very simple thing like patra, puspa, phala, toyam, which water, any of these four things which are akrita. Akrita labhya means free. You don't have to pay anything. Akrita labhya. Akrita labhya sadeva satsu, always available. If my devotee with devotion offers this to me, which is free, you don't have to pay, which is always available. You go outside, God has made so much of plants and plant kingdom, you can have. He says leaf, no, not even flower. Leaf, flower, fruit, water, anything mixed with pure bhakti. That is, pure bhakti is the ingredient, essential ingredient. Otherwise, you buy $1,000 of flower vase, he's not happy. So he says this is why uh, with simple, sincere devotion, I am easily available. The same thing God says in Bhagavad Gita. That sloka I knew for a long time. This is a new sloka, but now I know this. So this is a very old sloka. In Gita, Bhagavan says, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam, all four. Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam, Yume Bhakta Prachati, means offers to me, Bhakto Pararadayam, Aham Bhakto Pararadayam, Asnami, means I accept it, I taste it, I eat it, Asnami. Prayatatmana, with a pure mind, with a pure heart, if somebody brings. So both places God says that I'm very easy to get. Again, God explains, and like I said, most of the places you'll find that, it is very severe austerity requirements and so and lot of knowledge you need and to love something which you don't see, to love something which you have never seen, it's very hard to fall in love with that. No? But God says, Ananya Cheta Satatam. That comes in the 8th chapter. This sloka, where the word Sulabh comes. Ananya Cheta Satatam. Yo mam smarati nityasa tasya aham sulabha partha nitya yuktasya yogina. This is the three requirements. Ananya cheta. Ananya means no mind nowhere else. Anya means something else. Ananya means nothing else. Ananya cheta means consciousness or mind. Ananya cheta satatam means always. Ananya cheta satatam. Yo mam smarati nityasa. The one who remembers me, nityasa. Nitya means daily. Nityasa. Tasya, to them, tasya, aham, sulabha, I'm very easy, sulabha partha, nitya, yuktasya yogina. Nitya, again says nitya, means daily. Nitya, yukta means united. Nitya, yuktasya yogina. One who is doing, he's not called a regular worldly man, he's called yogi. So, but there are three requirements. Ananya, cheta satatam, yomam smriti, nityasa means daily. तस्या अहम सुलभ पार्थ नित्य constantly, daily, and nothing else. If I do it austerity today and then don't appear for 10 days or 3 months, that is not ananya. So always and constantly and nothing else. For him, I'm very easy. What's that? Means guaranteed. God gives guarantee. But is that possible? So that, because we have so many responsibilities to study and then to make money and then to take care of our family and relatives and what. God says, yes, still it is easy. So Bhagavan Ramakrishna says it is easy. It is not difficult. And how? That back of your mind, the God consciousness is always there. That is called Ananya. At the moment, I must have told this before, at the moment, our consciousness is always in money. No matter what we are doing, our consciousness is in money. How come? Because that is how we grew up and this is how the society functions and this is what we see. Whatever we see, whatever we practice, that becomes your background. Even if you are going on a vacation, you will see how much it will cost, which airline is cheaper, what hotels are cheaper, how much I can afford. Always that thought is. So for anything, if you want to study, you will say, okay, how much the tuition fee will cost, how much that means everywhere we have that consciousness. Even if you get sick, how much is the medicine, how much it will cost, and how much I'm losing in my business. That consciousness is there. So that way, when the consciousness, God consciousness is there in the background, it is called Ananya. So there's Ananya Cheta Satat. So that's how God says, I'm very easy to get. The next word is Suvrataha. Suvrataha. Vrata means su means good. Soban means a very desirable thing, and vrata means vow. So the vrat has two meanings. One is that you take a vow to do something to please God, or you do to express your gratitude. Oh God, if I get a green card, I will do such and such thing. Or I will start doing these things with the hope that I get a green card or I get a diploma. That is vrat. You take that pledge in front of God that okay, if my child gets better, then I will do 10 days fasting or something. So that is vrat. Another meaning of vrata is to accept and to receive. That is, God says that. God has taken a vrat. This is a repeat name. One time it came in in the around 200. So, so God has taken a austere vow to take care of his devotees, to protect his creation, and to destroy the evil. That are his vrata, suvrata. So one who takes very important, very austere vows. That is called suvrata. So God's name is, one of the name is Suvrata. So, like we said, that if we offer this patra pushpa phalam to him, God accepts that. So, God again says, you not only that you do once in a while, but whatever you are doing. So, immediately the following sloka comes that yat karosi, yad asnasi, yad juhosi, dadasi yat. Yat tapasyasi konteya, tat kurusva madarpanam. Arjuna, whatever you do, yat karosi, whatever activity, you go to college, or you go to a hospital, or your business, yat karosi, yad asnasi, whatever you eat, means not only eating, but whatever you listen, whatever you see, as any sensory or material thing that you consume. Yat karosi, yad asnasi, yad juhosi, dadasi. Whatever austerity you do, whatever you charity you do, yat juhosida. Yat tapasyasi, your austerity, tat kuru swamadarpanam, all of that you do it as an offering to me. These are commands of Lord. Why? If you do, what will happen? Subha subha phale revam moksha se karma bandhane. Sannyas yogiktatma vimukto mam upesesi. If you do that, then Subh Asubh, Subha Asubh. Subh Asubh means good or not so good, bad fruits. Subha Asubh Phale Revam Mokshe se karma bandhane. You will be liberated from the outcome of activities. Otherwise, we are bound with all those activities. Good karma, good fruit. Bad karma, bad fruit. Average karma, average fruit. So, but if you do it, everything as an offering to the Lord, you are not bound by anything. Means you become free. So, subha subha phale revam mokshe se, means you will be liberated. Mokshe se karma bandhane. Sannyas Yog Yukt Atma. Thus, one who has renowned Sannyas Yog, Yukta means united, Yukta Atma, he will come to me. Sannyas Yukta. So, Subha Subha Phale Revam Moksha Se Karma Bandhane Sannyas Yukta Atma Vimukto means liberated. Vimukto Mam Upesyasi. He will attend to me. And that is called Karma Yoga. Everything done as an offering to the Lord. So that is he wants us to take that vrata or this vow that, oh God, and those yogis or those sincere devotees realizing the truth, going through the experience of the world, that these mundane world activities is taking me nowhere, comes to that conclusion that that this is path I want to take. So that becomes a karma yoga, and God wants us to do that. And then He says, I'm very easily available to you. So that is the so that is the austere vow that God wants us to take on our own. Means your free will, you are putting it for this path with experience of the world. You already had experience of the world. You are a thinking man. They come to conclusion that, I'm still hungry, I'm still wanting more, I'm not satisfied with the worldly things. And worldly things have no power to satisfy us anyway. So it will never get satisfied till the last breath. So Next name is Siddha. Siddha is, that's also very, very powerful name. Siddha. Siddha means accomplished. The one who has reached the peak. That is called Siddha. Siddha. God himself is Siddha. Means he is an embodiment of perfection because everything is under his control, and his siddhi or his attainment is not dependent on anything. Our siddhis or our achievement is dependent on others, scriptures, other help, guru, our efforts, while God himself is perfection. So that's why it's called Purnamada, Purnamada, Purnamidam. So that is his Purna. So that's why it's called Ananyadhin Siddhitvat. Ananyadhin Siddhitvat Siddha. Ananya means nobody else. Ananyatvat Ananya means nobody else is required for that siddhi. So Ananyadhin means he is not adhin, he is not dependent upon on other. We are anya adhin, we are dependent on other things. God is not, so that's why he's called Ananya adhin siddhitvat siddha. So he's already a siddhi himself. So that's why one of his name is Siddha. And when for us to get that Siddhi, we have to make efforts. So that is the path of sadhana or bhakti yoga, karma yoga, gnana yoga, all those different paths to get to that siddhi or that peak where you realize the ultimate truth and where you get rid of all your hidden vasanas, so you become desireless and free. To get to that part, you have to go through this path, while God is perfection himself as it is. So that is siddha. And it's very important word. In Jainism, this is very important. Jainism, Om Nomkar mantra starts with Om Namo Arihantanam, Om Namo Siddhanam. Siddha, here comes Siddha. Om Namo Ayariyanam, Om Namo Vijayanam, Namo Esava Sahuna, Eso Panchakaro. Somebody is talking again. Please keep it on mute. No? So,
Radha, can you mute, please?
yeah. So that Nomkar mantra, or is also called Namaskar mantra or Omkar mantra, is the foundation of Jainism. They do anything, every austerity, every session starts with this Nomkar mantra. And that what it says that I salute Om Namo Arihantanam. I salute to those who have conquered the enemies. Ari means enemies. Arihantanam, the one who has conquered his inner enemies. We all know those six enemies: Kam, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsar. The one who has conquered these inner enemies, they are called Arihanta, Arihantanam. And it comes at the top of everything. Om Namo Arihantanam. When that is done, you become Siddha. Om Namo Siddha. How do you become? Om Namo Ayariyanam with the help of Guru. Om Namo Ujvayanam. Guru's Guru means or learned people. No? Namo Loe Sav Sahunam. All these five are great sadhus. Eso Pancha Namakkaro. These are all salutation to these five is the highest thing that we can do. And Mangalanam cha Savvesim Padmam Havai Mangalam. of all the auspicious things, this is the highest. And they do this often. And so that's where Siddha comes. So that is a word Siddha means. Next word is Satrujita. Satrujit means the one who has destroyed or conquered or defeated the enemies, external enemies as well as internal enemies. The world is a mixture of good and evil from the time of creation, and it will remain like that. The evil cannot be totally annihilated from the world. So it will always be there. From time to time, when God thinks that is too much evil, that he comes and he destroys the evil. Or he sends someone, and through someone he gets the evil destroyed. But evil, that is external enemies. But internal enemies, we all are subject to, and we don't even know sometimes. And that is a Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moha, Mad, and Matsar. And out of these, all are serious troubles, and the God destroys those enemies. And when the devotee is sincere and surrenders to God, God makes sure that all that internal enemies, they are wiped out because of your Saranagati, or your choice of the path and your own effort. God gives the assistance and destroys your internal satrus. Then you don't have to make a lot of effort. Oh, let me get rid of my desire. They evaporate. So the desires are sublimated. The desires never go away, but now your desires are of higher quality and divine desires. So that is Satrujita, one who has defeated the enemies, external as well as internal. And when the internal enemies are destroyed, your antakaran or mind becomes so serene and so what is called nirmal or taintless, that God takes over your consciousness and establishes in you. He said in Gita also, it says everything. Because once you have taken this path and made all the efforts to destroy your internal enemies, then you are eligible for PhD. You are eligible for higher gifts, and God bestows that gift. But unless your mind, or mind which is a part of antakaran, so man, buddhi, ahankar, and our consciousness, they all collectively are known as antakaran. So antakaran suddhi means you do not have now those blemishes in your antakaran. So now it is nirmal, means without any taint. That's why Tulsidas ji says, Nirmal man jan so mohe pava. The one who has a nirmal man jana so mohe pava. Mohe kapat chal chidra nahi bhava. Tulsidas, simple language. Mohe, God says, mohe kapat. I don't like tricky, malicious people. Mohe kapat chal chidra nahi bhava. So that making our interior from worldly thing, wanting thing, grabbing thing to giver, that is the march, for spiritual march. So that is when you do it, God helps to take care of all your internal enemies. And internal enemies, they run away as soon as that's what God, Bhagwan Ramakrishna says. As soon as the divinity comes in, Maya runs away. So the Maya cannot remain that. So that is called, as soon as the Vidya Maya comes, is all we are talking is called Vidya Maya. That is, we talked about this Vidya Maya and Avidya Maya. Vidya Maya, which is Vivek and Vairagya. When that arises within us, we have Vidya Maya. When Vidya Maya comes, Avidya Maya goes away. Like you turn the light on and the thief runs away. So same way, the worldly Maya, means Avidya Maya and Vidya Maya cannot stay together. It's morning comes and the night disappears. You don't have to make any special effort. So that is called Satrujita. Next name is Satru Tapan. So Satrujit means one who has conquered, one who helps to conquer you, the internal enemies. So why Satru Tapan? Satru Tapan means the one who harasses the Satru. So God goes after the enemies and burns it to ashes. Satru Tapana. So that is Sur Satrunam Tapana. Sura means divine beings or gentle beings or devotees. Sur Satrunam and their enemies. Sur Satrunam Tapan means God gives a hard time to them and burns to ashes. So all our inner enemies are burnt out. Those seeds cannot sprout again. It's like a roasted seeds cannot sprout. Cooked seeds cannot sprout. Same way, once these six enemies are destroyed, they cannot have even a lingering vasanas in us. And one who does that is called Satrutapana. Means he removes it from the roots. Not only that he says, okay, I will take care of this, and then again this thing grows up. No, it is annihilated from the roots. Means it will never come back. So that's why it's called Satrutapana. Next name is Nagrodha. Nagrodha. This means the superior. He is the superior power to everything. So it's the highest power, and Maya is his power. So he keeps everything and everybody under the influence of Maya to start with. And the people who chooses the path to divinity, they get Vidya Maya and they come out. So this ground, this universe is a testing ground for all of us. Whether we use our free will properly or we don't use free will, and we use free will to have fun here and get old and die. So that is our testing. God says, if you do it, we will have to come back again. If you take this path of Vidya Maya, you can be better off. And if you are very sincere, you will be liberated. Means no more birth and death. And that is called moksha. So Nagrodha means the highest authority, the one which who controls everything. He remains invisible but a controller. That's why he says, Naham prakas sarvasya योग माया समावृता मूढ़ो ना भी जानाति लोको माम अजम अव्ययम. God says. So that is na ham prakasa sarvasya. I am not visible to everybody. Na ham prakasa. Why? Yoga maya samavruta. I am covered by a veil of yoga maya. Like we discussed before, Maya has two powers. One is a concealing power. So this is the veil. He puts a veil so that Maya puts a screen that you can't see the way the things are, and you see something else. So it has two powers. One is is a covering power and other is a projecting power, and it projects something which is not there. So that is a and who can cross it? The one who takes a shelter of God. They can cross it. It means that for them, the things appear the way they are and becomes clear and clear. So that's why it is called Nyagrodha, the power of Maya, the highest power. God doesn't take that power off unless you go on his path. Otherwise, you are left victim to the Maya, which does swirls you all the way to the end and bruises you and finishes you. So that is the reality. And we know now we are 40, 60, 70, and we have plenty of experience of our own self. So that is Nagro. The next name is Udambara. Udambara. It is made up of two words, Ud and Ambara. Ud means higher or superior. Ambara means Akash or space or ether. God is the most subtle of the things that we know is the creator. So that's why his name is Udambara, beyond the sky. Even sky and the space is very hard for us to conceive. And he is even subtler than that. That's why his name is Udambara. Like we discussed this when we were discussing the Om. Everything started with Om, Sabda Brahma. And from that Sabda Brahma came everything else. At the beginning of creation, there was nothing else, just the creator himself. And he says, no, I'm getting bored and I want to create. Eko ham bahushyam, let me become many. And then he created. So that most subtle is Brahman or creator. And how come? This is very well explained in Mundaka Upanishad. And it says, Et tasmat jayate. Et means from him. Et tasmat jayate. Prana, mano, indriyani sarvascha. From him, all these has come. What? Prana means your life or Atman. Prana, mana, indriyani, sarvendriyanischa. Then come, see the beauty now? Now he explains, come, Vayu, Jyotir, Apa, Prithvi, Vishwasya Dharini. So from most subtle to gross, everything comes from me. Mundaka Upanishad. Et tasmat jayate prano, prana, mano, indriyani sarvascha. Kham means ether, means akash. Kham, Vayu, wind, kham, Vayu. Jyoti means fire. Apa means water. Prithvi, Vishwasya Dharini, which sustains all this. So we can see the Mother Earth. We can see fire. We can see water. So then wind we can't see, but we can feel. And higher than that space, no idea. We just look at the sky. Sometimes it looks bluish, sometimes dark gray. Space. We have no idea how far it goes and where it goes. And above that, that is Udambara. And scientists are now reaching that. Yeah, you are. So that is the yogis of India. They are far ahead of science. It is written now in the science journals that what this Mundaka Upanishad says. Now we have a we go crooked way to come to that conclusion. So that is Udambara. Next name is Aswatha. Aswatha. Aswatha means one which is not same as it was yesterday. Swa means tomorrow. Tha means condition. The condition of one which is not same as yesterday is called Aswatha. Aswatha, it is the name of a banyan tree, people tree. God says my creation. So God tells in Bhagavad Gita, the creation is like a aswatha tree, which lasts for years and years and years. So that's why 15th chapter starts with Urdhvamulam Adhasakham Aswatha Prahur Avyayam Chandansi Yasya Parnani Yastam Veda Saveda. God shows that this creation is like an inverted people tree, banyan tree, whose roots are high. The roots are high up, which is in Brahman, and the branches are going downwards. And with the branches comes another roots and gets established in the earth and binds you. So the creation has the origin in Brahman. Everything else we see, and we are subject to these gunas and attractions. They fix us on the earth like a people's tree. The roots come and establish in the earth. So, urdhvamulam adasakham asvattha prahur avyayam chandansi yasya parnani yastam ved savedavid. The one who understands this creation of mine, and the leaves are like chandas, my teachings, he understands the Veda. Chandansi yasya paranani yastam means this. Yastam ved, the one who understands. Yastam ved sa vedavid is the knower of the truth, of Vedas. So that fact is God's name is Aswatha. Aswatha Prahur Avyam. So Aswatha tree is lasts for most of the villages. They have one people tree under which their forefathers played and the grandfather played and they play, but and remains the same and for ages. Like that, this universe is there. We all come and go, come and go. So that is what is meant by the simile of Aswatha tree. And God advises, so Aswattamenam suvirudamulam asanga sastrena dradena chitva. So how do you come out of this? With the asanga means without attachment. With vivek and vairagya, you cut the trunk, the roots of this sansara tree, and then you will live. Asanga sastrena dradena means with firmness, chitva, you will be liberated. If you subject yourself and keep putting water to your gunas and vasanas, then you will be established here forever. And there is no way out. Okay. So that's why he says Aswatha. 15th chapter it starts when God tells. Next name is Chanurandhra Nisudana. So Chanur was a name of a wrestler whom God destroyed. So that's why we say Kansa Chanura Mardanam. So the Kansa, he was the maternal uncle of Lord Krishna, invited Krishna and Balram to Mathura to participate and in the Nusha Yagna or something, and And he says that, and he set this wrestling match to kill Krishna. So both the brothers go there and they fought with the wrestler. And Balram killed one of the wrestler whose name was Mustika. And Lord Krishna killed the wrestler. They were very fierce and very big. So the Kansa thought that, these little kids will not last for 5 minutes, no? And Lord, because he's Lord after all, destroyed this Chanur, that was his name. So that's why we say that Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansa Chanur Mardanam. That's where name Chanur comes. Kansa Chanur Mardanam. Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadguru. That is the highest stuti we do of Lord Krishna. So that is Chanur. And why he is called Andhra? So he belonged to Andhra dynasty or something, So Chanur Andhra Nisidana. That's how the big name, which is hard to even read, comes. Chanur Andhra Nisudana means the killer of Chanur, who belonged to this Andhra dynasty, or he came from Andhra region or whatever. And so that's why God's name is Chanur Andhra Nisudana. So thus there are 9 names, and God gives the idea about what's happening, and we are getting closer to 1,000 names. This was 825th name or something. So if you have any question, you can ask, and we can discuss. We still have time. So
thank you, Dr. Chokshi. Any questions for Dr. Chokshi, please?
Atul, I just want a little clarity here. You mentioned that God has created Mahamaya, right? And Mahamaya, within that, we have two kind of Mayas, which is concealing and one is projectile. Can you elaborate with example, what is the projecting power of Maya?
what we see, the whole universe is created because of power of Maya.
So what we say through the senses, what we perceive, that is projecting.
So that's why it is said that Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya. It's a temporary truth. It is like it's a film running in front of us, like a projector, and projection is done on the screen. It's not real. It is kaleidoscopic and it goes away. The same way, this world is a projection of Maya. So that is the power of Maya to conceal the truth, which is Brahman or God. And this projection power or creating power is another power by which it creates something which is not there. Illusive power.
Very elusive. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes. So that's why it is changing every day. It's like a dream. I was in England in 1975. I don't have a faint memory one of that. So it is akin to dreams. And because it has no lasting effect or lasting truth, it's called mithya. Mithya means temporary truth. It is truth. We can eat rasgulla, we can taste it, we can feel, we can interact with people, we can interact with Maya, but it is still not the ultimate truth because it changes. What changes is not Sat. It belongs to the category of Asat. Sat means which remains in the past, in the present and future, which remains unchanged, is called Sat. Everything else is called Asat. So this creation belongs to that category, Asat. But we at the same time we interact. So there is a new category that it is not Sat, not Asat, but it is
That's Mithya.
Temporary Sat. And means that is the elusive power that which is temporary makes you think it is permanent, that I am here forever, my child is here forever, my wealth is here forever. That establishment of us in that thought is the power of Maya.
Thank you.
I was seriously thinking, well, not seriously, but moksha just make me thinking about the moksha is like you control Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, and Kar. So once you control all that, you get into the moksha kind of a mode. What happens then? That means that you are sannyas, you are with a god. You mentioned like there is no birth and death. Well, I just visualizing it. If you
Okay.
do achieve that, what happens?
Yeah, this is the question for everybody, right? That some people say, I don't want moksha. So I'm fine with the Starbucks and I'm fine with the Broadway, no? I don't want
Right.
a moksha. So moksha means a state of being desireless. Because of the knowledge, you are working on your desires and kamnas. So once the desires are annihilated, your consciousness is pure. Not that you disappear, but you are not guided by your mind. You are not driven by your desires. You are not driven by your mind. You are free. And that freedom, ultimate freedom, Swami Vivekananda ji says that it is the ultimate freedom is to be free from our desires and passions. That is the ultimate freedom you get. Then you are free, not wanting anything. You may do whatever you want to do, and God replenishes your desire with the divine desires. Now we will be doing good work for His creation. You will be rejoicing. You don't want anything for yourself. You think that for real, you think that you are an instrument in the hands of God, and you want to use every minute of your life for doing good. That is called karma yoga, and that
Mhm.
those such a people are called karma yogi. They are most productive. The greatest examples are no, right, like we know that Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King, Aurobindo, Subhas Babu, all the way up to our Modi ji. They are all called Karma Yogi or Yogi ji. They do work for the benefit of others. And they are very busy. They are not lying at motionless that, okay, my desires are gone and I'm saying, no. But they enjoy everything in the world, but they are not attached. And they are very conscious that this is a show and I am an instrument. I might die tomorrow. It is fine. God has created me, gave me this power, and He made me a prime minister. I want to do the best. So that is how they conduct their affairs.
Right. Thank you. Thanks.
So they are the most productive, most useful, most happy people. And Shankaracharya ji says that hope this freedom comes to you in your young age, not when you are in nursing home. So start early. That's what.
Mm.
But the power of Maya is such that neither the parents nor the children will go on this path. Or parents will not recommend these, or children will not go on this path because of the power of Maya. That I don't
Right.
want my child to be sadhu or this kind of a yogi. They want him to get married and bring a wife and all those things. So that's why Bhagavad Gita never became very popular scripture in our sansara. And everybody was hiding, no, like that at the bottom and put flowers on it because they were afraid that their children will become yogis or sadhus. So, but it's not that they have to go away. They can be most productive and useful people.
Yeah.
But the elders have to be convinced to guide and put the children through this path. If elders are not convinced, they will never. Elders are convinced that my child should learn Bollywood dance, then they will learn Bollywood dance.
Right.
I'm not criticizing anything. I have nothing to do with anybody. But this is what happens. The choice is very perverted, no?
Chokshi, namaste, Neeta here.
हाँ जी.
हाँ जी, आपने जो पहला पॉइंट था सुलभ, तो उसमें बोला दैट भगवान कहते हैं कि यू कैन अचीव मी वेरी इजीली.
Yes.
ओके, आप ज्ञान योग, आप भक्ति योग, आप कर्म योग, एंड देन आपकी संडे का जो लेक्चर था कर्म, एवरीबडी व्हेन यू आर डूइंग योर डे टू डे कर्म, दैट्स नॉट कर्म योग. कर्म योग इज व्हेन यू ऑफर एवरीथिंग व्हाट यू डू on your daily
God.
basis to God and not worry the result, good, bad, and you're happy with it. So God says that to achieve me is very easy, but that's not true. That's why we go
No,
through
but
so
he said
of
that
work.
if you put your mind in me and nothing else, always, every day, then I'm very easy. This conditional easy. He doesn't say, oh, I'm easy. No. These are the three conditions you have to meet. That mind is nowhere else, not in the world. Mind is in God constantly, every day, and you are dedicated to God and offering, and you are working without the agency, without a sense of your ego, because that comes from the knowledge and that comes from Gnana Yoga. So that all these knowledge put together is called Gnana Yoga.
But practically, how is it possible unless you go to the mountains and retire?
No, you don't have to go to mountains. Why you have to go to mountains? It is only mentally you are renouncing. You are not throwing $100 bills from your car. God doesn't say that. But you are doing work as an offering to God. That God, that I am an instrument in your hand, and whatever I'm doing, I'm offering to you. And you know that it is everything being done by God, and it's not under your control. That is the knowledge number one. It is not under your control. I'm not here forever. That is second knowledge. Third knowledge, I'm not this body. Unless this knowledge establishes in us, forget about anything. Till then, you have a body consciousness, and you are so attached to the body and the comforts of the body that you will continue to do this. What we are doing, that is power of Maya.
Now, something like this, we are attending this seminar every day, this Zoom class every week for the last 3 years. So does that help us in our journey?
100%. If you try to understand and do it, then it changes you. And it doesn't happen right away, but slowly, if you compare yourself with 6 months ago and now, I compare myself when I retired and I compare now, because I'm doing nothing else. Nothing else except scriptures and reading, talking about it, and doing whatever it is recommended in scripture. So when that happens, other things disappear one by one, one by one. And that is that you'll end up becoming like a senior student. You become Savita ji became a first fine surgeon, not overnight, but for years you do the surgery and then you become expert. Like for years you do these yogic sadhanas, you become yogi. You play cricket every day for years, you become a master cricketer. Same principle.
I think when we do things which is not a selfish motive,
Yeah.
we do selflessness and not looking for results. And we have God in our mind that okay, He is guiding me. And I think that is where
that
that is moksha for me.
Yes. So the Swami Vivekananda ji puts simply that selfishness is being worldly, selflessness being godly.
Yeah.
You work on your selfishness and delete it step by step, because it took years to get for us to get established in selfishness. And once you destroy that, then you are free.
Just do yagnik work.
He keeps telling that,
Yeah.
There is a whole book on Karma Yoga by Swami Vivekananda. So what does he talk? He talks about Gita and he simplified for us, and that's why it's called practical Vedanta. Practical Vedanta. Means how to put the same teachings in day-to-day life.
What Neetaji just said, like, it's difficult. Neetaji, आपने बोला कि very difficult mountains हो, तो मैं क्या करता हूँ कि I imagine कि I'm at Kailash, or I imagine myself when I do the meditation कि okay, physically I'm not there, but mentally I'm there, and that makes my meditation like a little more peace of mind. That's how I overcome this. So I do think about it. चलो कैलाश चलते हैं, बद्रीनाथ चलते हैं. Like, if sometimes not practical, just do meditation. I imagine that I'm in that environment.
These things are doable, and that's what Swamiji did. His greatest contribution when he was on this planet was to enlighten the youth of India that time. He lived only 39 years, but he did so much good to our country, and that type country needed badly, and we were under the clutches of Britishers. So youngsters, he motivated them that no, these austerity. Your first job is to take care of motherland. Motherland means the people of the motherland who are starving and suffering and dying of starvation, and to take care of them is your first duty. That became a karma yoga. He put it in action and infused so much of national spirit that Mahatma Gandhi, Aurobindo, these Vinoba Bhave, they were all his followers. Everybody had Bhagavad Gita in their pocket. Everyone I named. And they died with Gita. Subhas Babu died with Gita in his pocket. And he gave up the whole world. Vinoba Ji, everyone. Why Gita? Because everything is there in the Lord's. And these are the giants who followed it verbatim. And then they got it. जो
Thank
गीता
you.
जीता वो जीवन जीता. गीता गीता जीता means one who lives. गीता गीता जीता means one who has mastered Gita. गीता जीता वो जीवन जीता. So many slokas I mentioned, no? So if you remember, now we are doing almost all of them, no? So from time to time, these names are helping us to go back to Gita. So that is called Vishnu Gita. We are taking Gita and associating with God's name, Vishnu, 1,000 names, and that what product is called Vishnu Gita.